rise and stand, voices of the brave echo to the land. Chasing dreams on the edges of fate, with steel in our veins, we will not wait. Killer call, we rally and war, for the coppers will settle our score. Populism's fire ignites the night, and your face will shine a light. From the ashes of the past we stride. With iron resolve, we will not divide. The fire burns bright, unyielding and strong. Together we'll sing a defiant song. Killer call, we rally and roar, for America first will. Rise and stand, voices of the brave echo to the land. Chasing dreams on the edges of fate, with steel in our veins, we will not wait. Killer call, we rally and war, for the coppers will settle our score. Populism's fire ignites the night, and your face will shine a light. From the ashes of the past we stride. With iron resolve, we will not divide. The fire burns bright, unyielding and strong. Together we'll sing a defiant song. Killer call, we rally and roar, for America first will. Rise and stand, voices of the brave echo to the land. Chasing dreams on the edges of fate, with steel in our veins, we will not wait. Killer call, we rally and war, for the coppers will settle our score. Populism's fire ignites the night, and your face will shine a light. From the ashes of the past we stride. With iron resolve, we will not divide. The fire burns bright, unyielding and strong. Together we'll sing a defiant song. Killer call, we rally and roar, for America first will. Rise and stand, voices of the brave echo to the land. Chasing dreams on the edges of fate, with steel in our veins, we will not wait. Killer call, we rally and war, for the coppers will settle our score. Populism's fire ignites the night, and your face will shine a light. From the ashes of the past we stride. With iron resolve, we will not divide. The fire burns bright, unyielding and strong. Together we'll sing a defiant song. Killer call, we rally and roar, for America first will. rise and stand. Voices of the brave echo to the land. Chasing dreams on the edges of fate. With steel in our veins, we will not wait. Killer call, we rally and war. For America first, we'll settle the score. Populism's fire ignites the night. And your face will shine a light. From the ashes of the past we stride. With bloody resolve, we will not divide. The fire burns bright, the kneeling and strong. Together we'll sing a defiant song. Killer call, we rally and roar. For America first, we'll
the convicted ringleader of one of the state's biggest fraud schemes is speaking to Fox News from behind bars. Now, she believes that the scam was no surprise to local Democratic leaders, and she's naming names. She spoke to Alexis McAdams. Hi, Alexis.
Hey, Dana. Yeah, so everywhere you look in the state of Minnesota, right, there seems to be another fraud scam. So this one involves Amy Bach. She's a Minnesota woman convicted of fraud for taking taxpayer money that was meant to feed hungry kids. But listen to this. Bach tells me the real issue here is the state of Minnesota, which she says kept giving scammers your taxpayer money even after they were flagged as fraudsters.
I have to believe that the governor's office and Keith Ellison's office were aware of this.
Notice that she's an American and she's white, right? We already know. And welcome to Wednesday, April 15th. That's right, National Government Screw Over the Taxpayer Day. That's what it is today. National Government Screw Over the Taxpayer Day. Notice how they use a white woman that supposedly committed fraud, right? They're not showing the Somalians that stole all the money in the daycares. They don't care about that. No. They want to divert your attention away from what actually really happened, right? So they're going to use this white woman, they're going to throw her in prison, and they're going to have her tell the story, right? So let's listen. I just wanted to point that out to you. Realize that all the fraud that went on in Minnesota, all of it, and in California, all over the United States, all this fraud. In Minnesota, most of it was committed by who? Oh, I don't know. Maybe the, I don't know. Who was dumped in Minnesota? Anyone? Somalians. Oh my God, really? But you can't show a Somalian, right? You're going to show this white woman. That was maybe 1% of the fraud that went on there. But let's continue here.
They've said they were involved in helping the FBI. They've said they were made aware. But apparently I'm scary, so they couldn't do anything.
So Bach ran this nonprofit called Feeding Our Future. You might have heard of it. It was one of dozens convicted in this $250 million scam. You can see her mugshot there. Prosecutors say this group set up sham restaurants. They pretended they were making these meals. They got paid by the state for those meals, but they just pocketed the cash. Bach, who's looking at 30 years behind bars, tells me the state signed off on those businesses, not her.
It all went through a process. They were all approved. They were all paid by the state, yet all the fingers are being pointed at me.
Well, yeah. What about all the daycares that were ran by Somalis? What about all the healthcare facility, the healthcare stay-at-home healthcare facilities that were ran by the Somalis? We saw it all with Nick Shirley, but no, what does Fox News choose? Why? Well, I'm going to tell you why Fox News chooses this. Right? I'm going to tell you why, because big industry, big business, the swamp, the rhino Republicans, they're all in on it. They want this cheap, illegal immigration too. Why? Because their donors, the people that fund and donate to their campaigns, They need these cheap illegal workers, and they're going to take some of that fraudulent activity, because what happens with these fraudulent activity is they send it out of the country and it comes back to the candidate somehow. We're going to see that in a few minutes, but let's continue with this.
And it's not just Bach. Whistleblowers told a congressional committee Minnesota Governor Tim Walz and Attorney General Keith Ellison there ignored warnings for years as millions of dollars and millions were stolen on their watch. Congress is investigating a long list of massive fraud schemes in the state. It's hard to keep up. Prosecutors say it's led to at least $9 billion in fraud, Dana, and counting. Congress also asking why the Attorney General there would meet with a group of Somali fraudsters, which were under FBI investigation in 2021. The group can be heard in an audio clip given to us by Bach's lawyer, offering to donate to his campaign if he can help them get their funding flowing again. Ellison denies any wrongdoing here. He slammed Bach in a statement to Fox, calling her a liar and manipulator, adding now she's on a media tour to deflect her guilt onto others instead of finally taking responsibility for this fraud scheme that she ran. So we reached out to Governor Walz too, Dana. He didn't get back to us. House Republicans say it's just getting started. They want to subpoena Walz and Ellison because they say they're responsible for ripping off American taxpayers.
Wow. Huh, imagine that. Just imagine they want to get back at ripping off American taxpayers as you're forced to pay how much of your salary, really, when you break it down in taxes, local, federal, state, school, all of it, gas. You're paying probably about 60% of your income to taxes. Right, and what does Fox News want to do? They want to tie it up in a little bow and show you this white woman that's, willing to speak to them, deflecting who's really ripping us off. I mean, for God's sakes, we have these illegal immigrants that came under Joe Biden. And by the way, I'm going to break this down for you in a few minutes, but are you ready for amnesty? Because that's what's coming. The Republicans and the Trump administration is ready to lay out an amnesty for you. Did you vote for amnesty? Because I didn't. It's coming. It's coming. They're going to try to make it sound real pretty. Right? They're going to say, oh, yeah, yes, the Dignity Act. Oh, just wait. The Dignity Act. What about the American Dignity Act? What about the dignity for the American taxpayer? On today, you're paying more than over half of your income to taxes. Well, for what? What did we do? Let's just look for a minute. Let's go back in history. Eric Swalwell just got expelled from, well, not expelled, but just resigned from Congress. Well, he took a trip with his buddy, right, on American tax dollars, cost upwards of $80,000. You had AOC take a trip, taxpayer dollars. All these people are getting rich. This war in Iran, all these people in D.C. are loving it. They're loving this because they're all getting rich off of this. Why we, the taxpayer, we, the American citizen, once again are getting screwed. We're getting screwed. It's hard to wrap your head around this, but it's true. Listen, you come here and I tell you the truth. I'm not going to sit here and string you a line of shit. That's not what I do. I refuse to do it, even though I believe that we need to vote for Republicans come the midterms. Because obviously the Democrats are far worse, as you can see with Abigail Spanberger in Virginia. And yes, I know what she did doesn't mean anything by signing a thing to take Virginia out of the Electoral College. She can't. I know that. It's the symbolism. It's the I don't care. I'm not moderate. I lied to you when I told you I was moderate. And you stupid idiots elected me anyway. That's what she's telling you. You see, the Republicans and Democrats, they're just going to rub your face in it. Because they've entrapped Donald Trump in this war in Iran, and he's all wrapped up in it. He's distracted. He doesn't know what to do. He doesn't know what to do. He got bamboozled by Benjamin Netanyahu. Right? And now you have people moving the goal line, right? What was the goal line? The goal line was to eradicate their military. Then it went, oh, we have to open the Straits of Hormuz, which we cannot do. We can't open it. That's why we can only create blockades. We can only create blockades and stop people from going into those ports. Why? Because the actual Straits of Hormuz is a killing field. So we're attempting to choke off Iran. What, will it work? I don't know. I doubt it. I doubt it. We're talking about very resourceful people. I hope it works. But I can tell you, we have gas, we have oil sitting at still $90 a barrel. Every single month, we're above $90 a barrel. Mark this down in your calendar and put Killer Carl beside it. For all yous out there that like to call me a panicking and a doomer and wrong again, it's funny, you call me wrong again, and I'm never wrong. I'm wrong. I'm right all the time. Operation Midnight Hammer. Oh, you were like, oh, when I said this, the Operation Midnight Hammer, that's not it. Benjamin Netanyahu wants us to have regime change in Iran. We're not done. Next day, Benjamin Netanyahu comes out with, he said, oh, well, I don't know if we got all the uranium. Now here we are, back again. I was right. I was right about the price of oil. All those people that were telling me, oh, no, it's going down. You'd send me these X posts. Oh, look, this guy says oil's coming down. No, it's not, dude. You're on crack. It's not the way it works. Now you have people saying, oh, well, you know, I don't care about the midterms. We got to finish this. That's how you can tell who's in the pocket of Israel, by the way. The people that are coming out go, oh, no, I don't care about the midterms. We got to stay there and finish this. What are we finishing? I thought we already took out their military. I thought they didn't have a navy. I thought during Operation Midnight Hammer, we killed all of their scientists. What are we finishing then? According to all of those statistics, there's nothing else to finish. We should be able to just say, all right, good day, fellas. You lose. All right, Israel, clean up the mess. Israel won't send troops into Iran. But now you have these lunatics. You have these lunatics going, oh, we need to take Kag Island, and we need to find all the uranium. You're not sending the military in there to find uranium, you morons. And remove it? That's not how that works. You see, they keep on moving the goal line and they're softening you to another never-ending war in the Middle East. Look, they're trying to all sell you on Marco Rubio and deflect you against J.D. Vance. Why? Because J.D. Vance is anti-war and Marco Rubio is a rhino. He's a Bush boy. He wants war. That's why. Yes, he's playing to Trump right now, and he's playing to MAGA because he wants that. The Bush boys have told him, oh, play game, play along. Play along. We're going to get you elected president, and then we have power again. You see, you're all being deceived once again. Mark my words. That's exactly what's going on here, folks. Open up your eyes. Open up your eyes and see what is going on here. Why do you think the mainstream media is drooling all over Marco Rubio? Oh, look how great Marco Rubio's done. Why? Well, because if the mainstream media is drooling all over somebody, that tells you stay away from them. Right? If Lindsey Graham is out there and he's all excited about something, stay away from it. It's the wrong place to be. Right, on this April 15th, as you write that check to the federal government, as they turn you upside down and shake every damn penny out of your pocket. Think about the fraud. Think about the never-ending wars. We're not benefiting anything from this war in Iran, except for higher gas prices and higher inflation to come. And the loss of the midterms. That's it. And we're going to end up with psychopaths. Like Abigail Spanberger. Right, because the base is now deflated. We don't want to go out and vote. Why go out and vote? I know it because I hear it from people every freaking day. I hear it from them. Why would I bother voting? We're still competing against illegal aliens. Nobody's been held accountable for this fraud. You know, we have this election for the governor's race in California. You ask your average person, could a Republican win that? And they're going to say, nope. Nope, that shows you we have no confidence in our elections. You see, what we really need in America is a good old-fashioned 1776 tax revolt. 1776 tax revolt. Why? Well, because when you start taking away the money from the things you don't agree with, the government will finally wake up and understand the American people are sick of it. Otherwise, they just think they got you fooled. They just think, oh, another sucker here. He's just in the treadmill, in the hamster treadmill. He's living his life. He's happy. He's got a mediocre life. You know, he's paying 60% of his income to taxes. You know, making it so these illegal invaders come in and they can live a life of privilege. They can have Ferraris, Porsches, vacation homes. Meanwhile, this guy's lucky if he takes a vacation once a year. Yeah, that's where we're at, folks. They've duped Trump, and they are just trying to sink his presidency as quick as possible. Sorry, Marco Rubio is part of it. Yes, he's exactly the type of person that George Bush would want. Wait, do we remember who Marco Rubio was prior to President Trump? He was anti-Trump. He was another one that was all against J6. It was the most horrible day in the world. The people that went into the Capitol, oh, they should. And you have Senator Lindsey Graham talking about how the people that went in to the Capitol on January 6th should all be shot in the head. And Trump endorses this guy. And I'm not an anti-Trumper, but I just want to know what the hell is going on. What the hell has happened? Listen, and don't tell me that they're playing 3D chess, because there is no such thing. You know, you told me that during COVID. Oh, Trump's playing 3D chess. He's in the basement of the White House. He never really left. He's going to have the army take out Biden and throw him in prison. Right. Meanwhile, Trump got duped during 2020 by the Scarf Queen, Deborah Birx. Oh, and who else? Anthony Fauci. Oh, who does Newsmax have on all the time? The Scarf Queen, Deborah Birx. She's on Newsmax all the time. Oh, but people flock to Newsmax. Oh, and Trump. Oh, I love Newsmax. It's the most conservative news outlet on TV. Right. But they have the Scarf Queen on. The woman that led you astray, that lied to the American people. They have her on there. They're parading her on there all the time. You see, you have to open up your eyes, people. You have to realize what's going on. And of course, somebody sent me a clip today of Stephen Miller talking about how Trump's got them boxed in. He's got Iran boxed in. He's choking them off. Okay. They're not making a deal yet. They haven't made a deal. We were told, and President Trump was told by Benjamin Netanyahu, and it's just now coming out that Benjamin Netanyahu's military advisor told Benjamin Netanyahu, and he knew it was a lie, and President Trump, that this war would be 4 days, and the Iranian people would rise up against their government, and we'd be in and out. Trump was told that this was going to be like Venezuela. Even though his military advisors, General Raisin Kane, told him, no, President Trump, it's not going to be like that. It's not. But here we are. And you know what? I hope everything works out over there. I hope that the Straits of Hormuz opens up. I hope this blockade works. But I can tell you, oil's still sitting at $90 a barrel. That tells you something. That tells you that the market doesn't buy into it. Exactly what it tells you. But we have another clip here. We have some Minnesota Republican, Mike Weiner, I believe his name is, Weiner, whatever. And we're going to play this clip because it's about Tim Walz. So I think Minnesota Republicans are actually trying to take action here. Not that it's going to mean anything, to be honest with you, because nothing's going to happen to Tampon Tim.
Of Governor Tim Walz for failure to faithfully execute the laws of the state of Minnesota, abuse of power, and obstruction of oversight. Under Minnesota Constitution Article 8, Section 1, the governor may be impeached for malfeasance, nonfeasance, or corrupt conduct. These standards do not require a criminal conviction. They require a breach of public trust and a failure to uphold the duties of the office. Additionally, Article 5, Section 3 requires the government to ensure that the laws are faithfully executed. Minnesota statutes governing fraud oversight and fiduciary responsibilities require state leadership to safeguard taxpayer funds. Evidence presented in legislative and congressional investigations show that billions in taxpayer funds were lost through fraud in Minnesota social services programs. Oversight systems failed repeatedly under executive leadership. Federal investigation and lawmakers have estimated up to $9 billion in fraud across multiple programs administered by the state. This represents not a minor administrative lapse, but a systematic breakdown in governance. Central to H.R. 6 is sworn testimony and documented statements from whistleblowers, along with years of OLA reports. According to testimony presented before congressional committees, state employees repeatedly raised concerns about the fraud. Those warnings were ignored or suppressed. Whistleblowers repeatedly...
Again, do you know what this is? This is a waste of Minnesota taxpayers' money. They're trying to impeach. They're trying to impeach Tim Walz, right? There's too many Democrats. It'll never happen. Why are you wasting your time? The federal government, Todd Blanche, should be out there and have Tim Walz in handcuffs right now. But they won't. They won't. This is all just breadcrumbs, folks. You know, I tell you this all the time. I tell you it all the time. Why? Not because I want you to lose faith in our government. Because I want you to not be deflated when nothing happens, because I truly believe we need to show up for the damn midterms. That's why. And all these other people out there that are telling you, oh, we're going to get accountability and, all this other bullshit. Now, let it go in one ear and out the other. And just know one thing for me. Realize that we have one option. We have an Abigail Spamberger option, or we have Rhino Republican option. None of them are good, but the Rhino Republican option right now is the way we have to go. And as Americans, we have to stand up and realize we can no longer tolerate this as we move on in the future. You know, we elect these people and we put our heads in the sand, and then we have people that just, no matter what the person they voted for does, they're like, oh yes, oh no, it's great. Trust the plan. As you're drowning, as your family is struggling to put food on the table, as gas prices spike, as now we're talking about troops on the ground. By the way, all you people that like to call me a doomer, you told me, oh, there'll never be troops on the ground. Well, now you're starting to hear the rumbles of it. So that's telling you right now that they are softening you for the fact that there's going to be troops on the ground. Because there's no other way out now. There's no other way out. You know, you can sit there and deny it, call me all these names. I don't really care. In the end, I will be proven right. I've been proven right time and time again. It almost makes me sick. The sad part is I don't want to be. All you have to do is go back and look at 2020, baby. You've seen it all play out all over again. The mainstream media, even Fox, they were all on board. Remember, they had Dr. Siegel on there. Well, you probably should go to a family gathering. Remember that? Dr. Siegel, Fox News. Right? They would air the Cuomo death count. They'd put the death clock up in the corner. Mainstream media is not your friend. They lie to you. They say they're conservative. Newsmax is so conservative, but they have Dr. Deborah Birx on there, the scarf queen. Think about that. Think about that. You know, they have the Clinton guy on there too. What the hell's his name? That's trying to attach himself to Charlie Kirk. You know, he's on there attaching himself to Trump too. You have Carl Higbee now. He's on there going, oh, I'm all in. I heard 7 people tell me yesterday, and again this morning, that they're all in on this war. We've got to stay and finish the job. What's finishing the job? That's the question I have. What is it? Is it eradicating every single Muslim in the Middle East? Is it having a permanent? Is it having a permanent boots on the ground in the Straits of Hormuz? Are Americans really prepared for that? Did you vote for that? How does that benefit America? But here we are. But don't worry. Don't worry. DoorDash Grandma is coming and she's going to tell you about how great tax on tips are. Right? She's going to roll up to the White House, 2 sealed McDonald's bags. Hi, I'm DoorDash Grandma. Oh, hi, Mr. President. Here are these 2 sealed McDonald's bags. Yeah, I made it by the Secret Service. No problem. Here you go. Yeah, everybody's buying that bullshit. Oh, no tax on tips. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's really benefiting somebody that's door dashing, that's making under minimum wage and gets earned income tax credits. It doesn't benefit them. You have to work in a high-end restaurant, very high-end restaurant, in order for no tax on tips to benefit you. Otherwise, it does not benefit you because you are under the poverty level and you get earned income tax credits. So you virtually pay no taxes. It was a great slogan during 2020 or 2024. But reality, it doesn't really do that much. You know, I mean, I know like to parade it out, and I get it, folks. I get why they do it. And we'd be fine if we wouldn't have went off course and got involved in this damn freaking never-ending war in Iran. You know, but you got all these morons out there. All these morons out there that are, every time you see somebody tweet something on X about oil, they're, oh, look, oil prices are dropping. Ooh. You better learn the fucking market, dude. They're not dropping anytime soon, unfortunately. And besides the fact, inflation never came down. Very, very few things came down in price, and I know they like to tout these numbers on the TV, but I have real life experience. I go out and I buy flooring staples. I buy these, and they're 3 times as much as what they were a few years ago. They haven't come down. But yet I'm still competing against illegal aliens. Illegal invaders. I'm still competing for wages against them because they haven't all been deported like we were promised. Matter of fact, they backed that down a little bit. Now we're going to start to hear about amnesty. Are you ready for amnesty? Because I'm not. Right? Meanwhile, you got scumbags like Eric Swalwell, allegedly giving women date rape drugs, taking advantage of them, living off the American taxpayer, using slush funds to pay them off to be silent, while American citizens are struggling. We're dropping bombs in Iran. We're dropping bombs in Iran that cost millions of dollars. What would that do here at home? We have a crumbling infrastructure in the United States. right? Go to any damn airport. The equipment they use to land planes is so out of date, it's pathetic. And we can't even get it updated. What about the roads in your local state? Like, let's just bring it down to the state level. What about your roads in your local state? Pay gas taxes, pay all these taxes. Right? There's taxes on cigarettes, there's taxes on alcohol, there's all these taxes. And yet, our roads still have potholes in them. Sidewalks are still cracked. There's trash everywhere when you go to a city, just blowing down the street like tumbleweeds. But all those taxes you pay, what's happening to them? They're getting grifted by these filthy politicians. You know, and that's what needs to sit into your head right now on April 15th as you filed your taxes or write that final check. Think about the slush fund in Washington, D.C. that your tax money is going to pay off sexual harassment claims. Think about that. Think about the cost of the war in Iran that we never should have gotten involved in. Think about your tax money going to that instead of something here in America. Think about all the money that went to Ukraine, right? And you can have your Ukrainian on, ambassador or whoever the hell he is. He can come on. Well, my question is, what about the money that they were going to funnel to the Biden administration? Right? They were going to funnel, Ukraine was going to funnel all this money. By the way, Tulsi Gabbard, Radcliffe uncovered this. Ukraine was going to secretly funnel money, and they probably did, to the Biden campaign. Oh, who came to Pennsylvania to talk about how great the Biden administration was and have a photo op with Kamala Harris? Who did that? And Josh Shapiro. Who did that? Oh, Zelensky. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. But now we hear Ukraine's winning the war. It's absolute insanity, folks. The propaganda that we are bombarded with. That's why you need to step back and you need to question everything. Anybody that tells you questioning something is bad, anybody that tells you questioning the Trump administration or the CIA or the FBI, Kash Patel, any of them, that's bad. You know, give them the middle finger and tell them, you know what, go suck that, buddy, because my taxpayer dollars are paying for this. I have the right to question it. I voted for it. I have the right to question it. I mean, what are you, just a bunch of blind sheep? You just believe anything you're told? You see what's going on. You see the goal line keep moving. It went from Operation Midnight Hammer, we're out of there. I remember people telling me, shut up, Doomer. We're done. Trump said we're done. We got all of it. We killed our top scientist. Shut up, Doomer. To now, we're engaged in combat over there. When I told you that was going to happen. Flat out told you. I find it hilarious. And you know, when people start calling you names, you realize, oh, you're calling me names because you don't have an argument. Right? You just want to call me names. You know, I'll call people names, but when I call them a name, I have an argument followed up. Like, okay, this. I don't just call you names. That's how you know they have no argument. Okay, Doomer. That's the dumbest, gayest thing I've ever heard. That's only something Dilly would make up. Because he's gay. That's why. Dilly's a homo. He gets his White House talking points every morning. Oh, here we go, my Dilly White House talking points. All right, I'm going to be Dilly. I don't have a man bun, but pretend like I do. Oh, Trump is killing it. Gas prices have never been cheaper. Don't pay any attention to what you pay at the grocery store. You paid high prices under Biden for 4 years. This is just temporary. 2 weeks to stop the inflation. Right, that's what we're hearing. Oh, just give me 2 weeks. I heard Carl Higbee say that 4 weeks ago. I heard him say it 2 weeks ago, and I just heard him say it again the other night. In 2 weeks, oil prices are coming down. Oh, 2 weeks to stop to flatten the curve. Okay, morons. Keep on taking your money from AIPAC and getting your free trips to Israel. You're selling out your country. And you're destroying the MAGA movement for $1. It's disgusting, actually, is exactly what it is. You know, and you call all the people that have been behind Trump and donated money, volunteered our time, you call us doomers. I'm not a doomer. I'm an America first. That's what I am. I don't care about what happens in the Middle East. I care about what happens on American soil. I care about getting rid of all of these illegal invaders that broke into our country and are robbing my American citizens of their tax dollars. That's what I care about. But no, you care about, oh, we can't say anything bad about the Trump administration. God forbid. Oh, you'd rather have Joe Biden. You'd rather have Kamala Harris. No, dummy. That's why I voted for Trump. Because I don't want that. What I want is cheap gas, cheap energy, low inflation, and low interest rates. That's what I voted for. And to get rid of all of these illegal aliens in my country. That's what I voted for. And I haven't gotten any of that yet. And accountability. Let me add that too. What accountability have we had? Oh, Todd Blanche is in there now. Oh, yeah. Okay. He's only been in for 2 weeks. That's what I'll be hearing when he doesn't do anything. When there's no account. He's only been in for a month. No, dummy. He's been in for as long as Pam Bondi has. And he's been the one controlling the process the whole time. While nothing was getting done. Oh, you just want to complain. No, I don't want to complain. What I want to do is sound the alarm. I want other people to sound the alarm. Why? Because I think that if President Trump hears our voices loud enough, we won't end up in 2020 again. That's why. Just absolutely hilarious to me. You know, how these people that are wrong all the time, they keep on moving the goalpost. Oh, no. Huh? I mean, really, I hate to repeat these things, but let's just look back in history here. Anytime we were close to any type of peace in Ukraine, what would happen? The European Union would push Zelensky to do something to sabotage it. Anytime we were close to peace in Gaza, what would happen? The Israelis would do something to sabotage it. And we were close to peace in Gaza. We had the Board of Peace. And then we get involved in the Iran war, which puts a kibosh on that. Because now in Gaza, you have all types of horrible things happening that we're not even reporting on. We have all these things that are happening in Gaza that you're not even hearing about. Go do your research. Don't take it from Killer Carl. Go actually look and do your research. Don't just rely on the mainstream media. So to all you people that like to call me names and doomers, I don't rely on the mainstream media. I actually do my own research. A large portion of my day is spent doing that. Right? That's why I know we only get about 7% of our gas, of our oil from the Middle East. That's why I know China gets 19% of their fuel from Russia. And that's why I know Russia was willing to backfill the additional amount that they were lacking. That's why everybody that told me this was hurting Russia, well, it doesn't seem, or hurting China, it doesn't seem to be hurting China. They seem to be doing just fine. Right? If this was hurting China, ask yourself a question real quick. If this was hurting China, wouldn't they want to end it? Why are they giving intelligence to the Iranians to continue to facilitate this war if this was hurting China? Answer that, please, somebody, anybody. Because it's not. It's not. They're loving this. We are depleting our country of weapons. And now they have a reason to blockade Taiwan. Right, now they have a reason to say, oh, well, you want to blockade the Straits of Hormuz and you want to put a hurt into our fuel. We're going to put a hurt into our fuel. Well, we could just block chips and rare earth minerals to the United States and all of those drugs you rely on us for. You see, that's coming, folks. It is. Sorry, I hate to tell you this, but it's coming. It's coming. Just wait. Mark it down in your little doomer book, right? So you can call me a doomer when I say, oh, you see, I told you so. You'll have it there to smack you right in the fucking face. And I don't want to be this guy. I don't want to be the guy sitting there and telling you, oh, yeah, this is what's going to happen. I want us to have a prosperous country. I have grandkids. That's why I'm so pissed off right now. And no, I'm not trusting the plan or trusting Trump. I trust myself and I trust my instincts. And I know what they're telling me. And it's not fucking good. It's not. You can't lie to yourself. Oh, we're winning. We're winning. Show me how. Show me how we're winning, because it doesn't feel like it to me. Not when I have to go and fill my van up to go to work, and I have to go to the grocery store, and things still cost a fortune, and I've got to buy supplies that are quadruple what they used to be. And my wages are the same. I don't think I'm winning. It's just temporary. Okay, well, when's it let up? Because it was starting to let up. It was starting to let up before we started in this dumbass war in Iran. But now here we are, getting drug in deeper and deeper and deeper. Go back. I've said this. We just keep on getting drug in deeper. Now we got to go in and get all the uranium. We got to get all the uranium. I thought we got rid of all the uranium. I thought we blew all those things up. I thought we blew up their top scientists. I thought we killed all their military, and they have nothing left but some ragtag rebels. If we did all that, why can't we just leave and let Israel take care of it? Because they don't want their soldiers in there. They want ours. They want American blood dying for them. That's what they want. They don't want the cost passed on to them. They want it passed on to you and me because they look at us as a bunch of suckers. That's why. And we just have to wake up to this fact. And I'm not an anti-Semite. And I know some people are, oh, you're anti-Israel. I'm not anti-Israel. I believe Israel has a right to exist. I believe they have a right to defend themselves. Not with American. By the way, you know, Israel is a nuclear country. They have nuclear weapons. They have nuclear weapons. Why are we defending them? Shouldn't they be able to take care of themselves by now with all the aid and money that we give them? At some point, we just have to be done with it. And that's all this war is creating, by the way, because, you know, the reality of it is the voters we need to come out in the midterms, we need young people. The Democrats have the young people. They're going to have their socialist policies out there on these college campuses. They're going to have them out there. Their Zoran Mondamis, their dumb AOCs out there rallying up these college kids to go out there and get votes. Do you know why they're going to connect with young people? Because young people have no hope. They can't afford to buy a house. They can't afford to have a family. Their jobs are being stolen by foreigners. H-1B visas in the tech industries. AI. That's why you're not going to win the midterms. Because you have the Zoran Mondamis talking about the rich man. They're playing Robin Hood. That's exactly the scenario that Zoran Mondami is portraying. He's portraying Robin Hood. He's going to take from the rich and give to the poor. We know that's not the way it's going to end. I know that. You know that. But the youth don't know that. They're not taught about communism and socialism in school. They're taught the complete opposite of it. You have Mandani out there talking about this grocery store they're going to build. They're going to tax people that have two homes and that live in Florida and have a home in New York. They're going to overtax them. That's what they're doing. And these young people that are struggling, that can't even afford one home, they're going, yeah, let's do that. I can't afford anything, and I'm working my ass off. I'm stuck paying college debt. I can't get a job, of a good living wage. Yeah, let's take from the rich. That's what they're saying. You see, that's what we're missing. That's the connection we're missing. And then you have Trump distracted with this whole presidency. Trump's been distracted with what? International problems. Nothing domestic, all international. All of it. You had college kids coming into the MAGA movement. Now you're losing them. Now you're losing them. You know, you have Trump coming out a couple of months ago talking about, oh, we need H-1B visas. We need these people to come in. They're so smart. Remember that? Oh, I remember that. You don't think our youth remember that? You have Trump fracturing his relationship with Tucker Carlson and Joe Rogan. All for what? A war to benefit Israel? Who listens to Tucker Carlson? The youth. Who listens to Joe Rogan? The youth. You can call them podcasters. You can call them whatever you want. But the reality is Tucker Carlson gets more views than all of the mainstream media combined. Tucker Carlson, Mr. President, wasn't fired because he had bad ratings at Fox. No, you know what, Mr. President? You know why Tucker Carlson was fired? Because he was exposing the fraud that went on against the January 6 people that were imprisoned, standing up for you, Mr. President, standing up for you. Yeah, that's why he was fired. Fox didn't want to air it. They refused to air it. So they fired him. And Tucker Carlson said, no, fire me then. I don't care. I want to get the truth out there. That's the guy you just fractured a relationship with. A guy that was willing to put his career on the line to stand up for people that went to prison, standing up for you. Now you have MAGA people saying, oh, Tucker Carlson's a loser. He's a blah, 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 blah. You weren't saying that then, were you? You see, you have to put things into perspective, folks. I know it's hard. I know it's not easy. But it's reality. And I don't, I'm not here sticking up for Tucker Carlson. I'm just pointing out facts. Right? You have President Trump backing Lindsey Graham, a guy that said people that went into the Capitol on January 6th should all be shot in the head. Trump endorses him. Over Mark Lynch. Celebrates the candidate that Tucker Carlson backed, bailing out of the race. Celebrates it. Oh, look, Tucker Carlson. Oh, okay. So you'd rather be wrapped around a deep state rat like Lindsey Graham, Mr. President, that wants to see people that went to the Capitol to support you get shot in the head. You'd rather be tied to that piece of crap? Think about it. Think about it. I mean, and that's the reality of all of it, folks. I get it. Trump's got a lot of things on his plate. But the reality of it is you've got to put these things into perspective, and you've got to let the administration know when you're not satisfied with things and not just follow them blindly like sheep. And I get it. There's some people out there that are sheep. But then there's the sheepdogs like me, right? We got to herd you back in, baby, and get you focused. Right? Because the sheep, well, they'll be led right to slaughter. Just like during COVID. Right? Just like when Anthony Fauci would dictate whether our country was going to be open or not, and Trump just go, oh, well, it was two weeks to stop the spread. Oh, we're going to have to stay closed just another maybe 2 weeks or a month. All for a fraud. All for a fraud. Operation Warp Speed was the greatest thing ever. Remember when he was running in 2023 and he kept on bringing up the Operation Warp Speed and the jab, and somebody had to tell him, hey, Trump, the base isn't loving this. This jab is killing people. And it took him a long time for it to soak into his head before he backed off of it. Remember that? Because I do. I remember all these things. I was willing to give a pass for that. It's cool. I get it. But now, all you hardline MAGA people want to put that all in the past and just, oh, Trump can't be duped. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. I don't know what you're smoking, but I guess you're smoking something better than me. Well, I guess we're going to call it a night for Wednesday night here. We should have Jacob on tomorrow night on the podcast. And then I'll probably do something Friday. And then we have my Saturday morning show on the John Fredericks Radio Network where you can call in and harass me and call me all kinds of names. And I love it. Right? Because I'm willing to debate you without calling you a name. All right? I offer anybody that wants to come on here that disagrees with me, come on. I'll have the conversation with you. Respectfully. But you never do. There's always an excuse why you can't come on. But you can. Anytime. To anybody that wants to come on that disagrees with me, that wants to call me a doomer or whatever, come on here. The invitation is open all the time. Right? Because I have facts. I come with receipts and facts. I don't just tell you things. I lay them out, and there's stuff to back it up. With that being said, listen, we've got to win these midterms. And you're going to have to vote for people you don't want to, unfortunately. That is something we absolutely have to change in this country because, there's so many people that are just like Eric Swalwell on both sides in our government. And I laid it out last night, and I'm not going to do it here again. But there are so many people in our government like Eric Swalwell that are just dirt balls and hate our guts. On both sides, they hate our guts. They think that we are there to serve them and that they are the ruling class and we are just their servant peons. At some point, we have to let them know that's not the truth. That's not the truth. But I want to thank you all for joining me tonight. And we'll be back on here tomorrow night. And we're going to have a great show tomorrow. Guests on here on the Killer Carl podcast. Gonna have Jacob on. Maybe we'll get Skillet back on here. Stay tuned tomorrow morning. Panic and Rehab, 8 o'clock. I don't know if James will be back, but if not, maybe you'll get Big Tony again. But till then, stay positive. Pray for our president. Pray for our country. Pray for our government. Remember, populism is proud to be a populist. You should be proud to be a populist. America first, baby. All the way to the end. America first. God bless.